Hello, Cathy Bramley here. I'm delighted to welcome you back to my treehouse, where it has been snowing and all sorts this afternoon, but the rain is held off, the wind is held off at the moment, and so which is just as well because I've got a delightful guest to talk to you today, somebody who I was hoping to have an event with shortly, but unfortunately that's not going to happen this year, but never mind, it will at some point in the future. I'm delighted to welcome to my channel Sarah Morgan. Sarah, hi.
Hi, Cathy. It's so great to be here.
Thank you for
I'd rather
joining
be
me.
in your lovely log cabin sipping tea, but this will do. We'll have virtual tea.
Virtual tea, yes, virtual tea. And you are surrounded by some wonderful bookshelves.
I am. I'm not actually in my office because I have no internet in my office because otherwise I'd never get any work done.
That's actually very sensible.
It's internet free. So when I want to record something, I come into the house. And yeah, I love my bookshelves. My husband built these because we had so many books and I had so many books. Well, so does he. He got fed up with falling over them. So yeah. He built them. So it's really great. And now I need more because I filled these up.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's really hard to let go of them. It really is hard to let go of books. I must admit, I'm I was terrible. I used to not keep books at all, but now they're just so precious because they're a resource, aren't they, for us?
I know. Yeah, they really are. And I love the way they look and feel. And I mean, I'm an ebook reader too. Are you? Yeah. I do love ebooks, but you can't beat a paperback as well. And I love audio. Do you love audio?
Yeah. I've just recently finished Grown Ups by Marion Keyes.
Oh, fantastic. Did you listen to that in audio?
Yes, and she's the narrator.
Oh, fantastic.
And it is incredible.
Oh, I bet she's really good. Yeah.
She's really good, and I thoroughly enjoy it. It's the best audiobook I've ever listened to.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's a good tip.
Yeah, really good. Just on audio, do you tend to have the same person that narrates your books?
Not always. If I'm doing a series like my Manhattan series, they usually try and keep the same narrator. Because then you've got continuity between the books. But it changes around a bit. But I've had some great narrators. They're really fantastic. And, obviously get to listen to them and check that, I love the voice before they go ahead. And it's good. Do you do the same? Do you have the same?
So far, I've only had one narrator. She's narrated all 11 of mine. Yeah. I say 11. We were just talking just beforehand. And how many books have you published now?
Oh, well, if you go back to my Mills and Boon days, about 88, I think. Yeah, I know.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. But going back to audio, with the audio, because I have quite a lot of American characters, I have to have somebody who can do really good American accents, from the right place as well. So, a New York accent is not the same as a Californian accent. And so I have to have somebody that's really good with accents. Because usually I have a mix of UK and American characters, so British and American characters. So I have to have a narrator who can handle both.
So Family for Beginners is your new book. I'm going to bring that in so everyone can see the cover of this one.
It's so pretty, isn't it?
It's very pretty. Very pretty.
It does cheer me up just looking at the colours at the moment. I live in a very indoor type of life. You want some sort of pictorial sunshine, and I think pictorial sunshine sums it up really. But your cover's pretty too. They're both pretty, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They look really nice together, actually.
Yeah,
we did a giveaway recently, didn't we?
We did, and it was very popular. We ought to do it again when life gets back to normal and we're all allowed to go to the post office and open things. We'll do another one. It was really popular.
It's a good idea. So is this the same illustrator? Do you have the same sort of cover designer on your books as well, or does that change?
Well, it's led by HQ Stories, by HarperCollins, my publisher, so the art department lead it, but I've had the same illustrator for the last few books. Yes, and they've done a really good job, but this one's particularly summery and pretty.
A Wedding in December. Was it called A Wedding?
Yeah, that was the last one.
That was a beautiful
that's right.
cover.
Oh yeah, thank you.
The colours on that were just
it was pretty, wasn't it? That sort of Tiffany blue green.
Bluey green.
It was lovely.
It was beautiful.
It was very pretty.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty.
So tell us a little bit about Family for Beginners.
Wow, Family for Beginners. I had so much fun with this book. I wanted to write a story about somebody who was taking on a family, really. So my heroine, Flora, who is a florist. And I have to say, I did learn an awful lot about flowers that I didn't know before. So my flowers are much better cared for now. My heroine, Flora, falls in love with Jack, who is a widower. So he has 2 children, and she has to somehow make their relationship work with these 2 children as well. And that's very complicated because the teenager is not interested in having a replacement mother. She's furious with him. And she's very much kind of living with the ghost of the dead wife, if you like, which is really hard. And she desperately wants family. So in the end, the story really is about her she adapts who she is to try and be a good mother to these children. So she tries to be more and more and more like, you know, the dead wife, to be what they need. She ends up going on holiday with them because Jack wants it to be the same for the children, and they've always done the same holiday every summer, which is quite understandable. He wants to keep life steady, so she goes on holiday with their best friends. So she's constantly in this position where she feels like an imposter and an outsider. And she's trying harder and harder to fit in. And of course, the harder she tries to fit in, the more it goes wrong. So there's lots of humor in it. I don't want to make it sound like it's a really sad book, because it isn't. And there's lots of humor. But it's about the complexity of relationships, really, because it also explores friendship. During the holiday, they're staying with Becca. She was his dead wife, Becca's best friend. And it's about their friendship as well, the friendship that she used to have with Becca, and they had a lot of secrets, and how friendship changes over time. And just because you're friends when you're 12 and maybe even 20 doesn't mean you're going to be friends when you're 40. You know, people change, and it's about kind of, you know, reevaluating friendship, really, which was quite interesting. But the romance really is just about how, you know, she gets to be accepted by the family. So
by eventually being herself.
Yeah, exactly. She eventually learns that she can't try and be anyone else. That doesn't work. Pretty much works for all of us, doesn't it? You can't really be anyone but you. So I had a lot of fun. I did. And I set it in the Lake District, which I really love. You love the Lake District,
yes,
don't you?
I do. So a couple of mine have been set in the Lake District.
I love it. And I set loads when I was writing medical romances, because, you know, I used to be a nurse, and I started off writing medical romances, and I set just so many, I don't know, about 20 in the Lake District. Did a lot of mountain rescue, but I love it. I think it's a brilliant setting. It's the first time I've done it in one of my longer novels. So this starts off in Manhattan, but then it moves to the Lake District, and that's really nice. I know, dreaming of that right now in my living room.
So Jack's American, isn't he?
Yeah, and so's my heroine, actually. But the friends that they go to stay with are British. And that was where the dead wife, you know, she went to school there and everything. So, got you. So it's a bit real mix, transatlantic mix.
Well, my book, A Patchwork Family, has got some of the same themes, because it's all about finding your role within a family situation which isn't necessarily your own family. So I thought when we had the chance of possibly doing an event together, that was a nice link.
It would have worked beautifully. I know. Typical.
Never mind in the future.
And I loved your book. You're right. There were lots of similarities. You're right. It would have made a really good joint event, because we were exploring similar themes.
But the funny thing is, I've got you know how I sometimes release my books as ebook serials before the paperback? So my next ebook series is about a florist.
Oh no, really? Well, that's great. Your flowers are going to look amazing.
Called Fern.
Really? So I got Flora and you got Fern. That's really good. Yeah, well, I can tell you now, you'll never treat flowers the same way.
Well, I did a floristry course.
Did you? Oh gosh.
I've done 3 workshops, and I've done a 3-day course.
Oh, you're amazing.
Yeah, so I loved it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love it too, actually.
I learned so much about flowers, so much about it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So in fact, I've done 3 courses in a 3-day. So absolutely loved it. I went to there's a floristry school not far from here.
Oh, that's good.
And I went there, and it was a course designed for people who want to be florists.
Oh, lovely. So you got proper training.
I kept saying, I don't want to be. I'm going to be rubbish, because everyone else had obviously had a real flair for flowers, which is why they wanted to be florists, except for me. you know, hadn't even got a pair of scissors at home that could cut stems. But yeah, so that was really good fun. Talking of research for books, do you have to do much research for your books, or do you?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but I do a lot of it online. So my floristry, I didn't go to take a course. I would have liked it actually, and I did look into it, but it was a bit complicated. It was quite a long way from where I was, and yeah, so most of it was online. So I do a lot of research, but a lot of the times it's online, unless I can visit the place. Setting wise, if I can go there, it's always nicer, it's always easier, but it's perfectly possible these days with the internet. It's fantastic. I don't know how people did it. You know, I remember I was once writing a scene, it was in How to Keep a Secret, I think, where I needed to describe the road between the airport and somewhere else on Martha's Vineyard, which of course I haven't driven along that road, but you YouTube it and somebody's always filmed it. I think, who are these people who sit there thinking, I'm going to film myself driving from the coast to the airport? Anyway, it's all very useful. So basically anything at all that you want to see is up there on YouTube.
Yeah, it is. It's a great tool for that. I remember wanting to do something on Fifth Avenue where I'd got somebody had come out of a shop and I wanted to see what was opposite, you know, and how
Google.
far along. Google Street
View. Yeah,
it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's great. It's great. So this one's coming out on Thursday.
It is. The ebook came out last Thursday. It was a week early, and of course that's easy for everyone. Paperback's a little bit harder now because obviously we're very restricted as to where we can go, and I hope that some of the supermarkets will still stock it. They certainly were, but obviously things are changing on a daily basis. And quite understandably they're having to prioritize, you know, items which urgent, although I would consider a book urgent, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Anyway, essential.
We're different. So I don't quite know. The paperback, Amazon is definitely honouring all the pre-orders, and it's up there for order, so people can still order it from Amazon. You know, I would just keep all the usual websites, really, to try and do it online if you're not out and about.
April.
Yes, Thursday. Paperback.
Okay, jolly good. And so what are you up to now then? Obviously you're sort of going to be doing all your promotion online, but where are you in your next?
So I've just turned in my Christmas book, finished, and I know, I'm so excited about it actually. It was really, you know, some books are really hard to write and some books are really easy, and it doesn't make any difference to how much you love the book, but just some of them flow easier than others, and the Christmas one really flowed, so I had a lot of fun with that. So that's gone in, and I'm now starting next summer's book, which feels surreal when this summer's book hasn't even come out yet. But so I'm just starting the new book, and I'm always really excited at the beginning. Are you, before you get into it and you suddenly think, oh, what was I thinking?
When you've got that blank sheet of paper before you can mess it up.
I'm all right at the beginning. I think, oh, this is a great idea, and then I start writing and I think this was not a great idea. Are you the same?
So, always. So I'm just in the process of researching my next book at the moment. So my whiteboard is covered with potential titles, and it's not necessarily that the title is going to remain, but it just gives me a steer of what the book could be, and then I tend to get ideas from that. So how do you do that? Do you have your title first, or do you have your story first? Or
story? I'm less bothered by title, but I do have to have the characters' names right. So I usually think up a working title because it often won't stay by the time we've all talked about it, and I have to have a title that works for the US as well. So that takes quite a bit of conversation and brainstorming. But fortunately I don't need that to write. I have my working title, but I do need the characters' names. I can't write with X and Y.
No, nor me.
Can you? No, they have to be people for me from the beginning, so they have to have their real names. So those have to be fixed, but title I can be flexible with.
I can be, because we often change it afterwards, but I just think that a title gives me just a direction, you know, because we do change my titles, and I'm not that fixed to them, but as long as I've got something to start with. Do you come up with a setting or a premise, or how do you come up with your
I think it varies. Actually. I don't think I have a fixed process. I wish I did, because it would probably make it much less stressful if I did. But no, usually, I mean, setting is always important to me. It's always part of the novel, part of the story, really. You know, even with Family for Beginners, they're in the Lake District, and they're kind of trapped really by the lake. So she's forced into this really claustrophobic family situation, you know, so it would be a very different type of story if it was a city break that they did every summer. So setting comes at the beginning as part of the story, and how the story develops depends. With this one, I just knew I wanted to do somebody who was sort of competing with somebody's dead wife, really, because how do you compete with that? You know, she's this perfect person and you can't possibly compete because she's not even there anymore. So you're just competing with a memory, which is kind of almost impossible. So I wanted to explore that.
Yeah,
so
lovely.
What about you? How do you plan yours? Are you
it's
a planner?
different every single I am a planner, but it is different every single time. So like when I wrote A Vintage Summer, I knew I wanted to set a book on a vineyard, but I didn't know what the story was. Then I've just turned one in now, like first draft, and I knew I wanted to write about 3 women that met on a beach, you know, so it just comes from a different place each time. So now I'm trying to throw myself into Christmas and think something wintry.
Are you doing that's Christmas for this year?
No, it'll be next year, I think. I might not even do a Christmas book yet. I might just think I'm going to leave it to Sarah Morgan. She knows what she's doing.
I love Christmas. I've done Christmas every year since I started writing. That's
really?
A long time, 2 decades. And when I was writing medical romance, sometimes I did 2, because obviously they were shorter. So sometimes I'd do 2 linked Christmas books. So I just absolutely love Christmas books. I love writing them. So yeah, I mean, I love the summer too, but I can't imagine not writing a Christmas book. I'm a Christmas person. I'd have Christmas all year if I could. In fact, I only just took my Christmas tree down in my office because I've been writing the Christmas book until really recently. I only sent it in a couple of weeks ago. So I've been all Christmas. I was still listening to Christmas music and making my family watch Christmas DVDs. I know I'm so unpopular.
I'm actually thinking I might go and look, see if I can find a Christmas movie for this afternoon, because it doesn't look very appealing out there now. So well, it's been lovely to chat to you.
It's lovely to talk to you as well.
Thanks so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Best of luck with the new book. And it is wonderful. I've got a quote on the front of it, haven't I?
You have. You're on the cover of mine and I'm on the cover of yours. So that's kind of fun, isn't it? That is fun. And we'll be doing a joint giveaway as soon as it calms down.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. That'd be great. Okay. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Bye. Oh, wasn't that great? It was lovely to talk to Sarah. She's somebody that I've spoken to online for ages, but I've never actually met her in the flesh, and we've never had a face-to-face phone call like that. So great. Thank you for joining me, and I'll be back soon with more of your favourite authors. Thanks for coming. Bye.